Small SUVs are taking over the world, and the Nissan QASHQAI is one of the biggest players, selling more than 5 million globally. In Australia though, it's never quite stolen our hearts and is comprehensively outsold by both the high-end Icona and even the more expensive X-Trail in the Nissan range.
But we think that's set to change with a bigger, bolder, more stylish, third generation Nissan QASHQAI, a car that leaves no stone unturned to gain a competitive edge over its rivals. Roughly the same size as the small SUV it replaces, the new QASHQAI is around 35mm longer, 10mm taller, 32mm wider, but has a wheelbase that's been stretched by around 20mm for extra space.
To save weight and increase stiffness, the body uses more high-strength steel in its construction, and the doors, bumpers and bonnet are pressed in aluminium, with the hatchback made of composite plastic that in total carves 60 kilos off the body in white.
Under the bonnet, I can't tell you exactly what we'll be getting in Australia because the details have yet to be finalised. But we think that we're probably going to get a development of this car's 1.3 litre 4-cylinder turbo, but without its 12-volt mild hybrid technology.
Later on, Australians will be offered the QASHQAI with Nissan's e-Power series hybrid powertrain.
Inside the QASHQAI, the family-friendly small SUV, well, it has a cabin that's barely recognisable over the model it replaces. From its fit, finish and some of the tactile quality of some of the materials it uses, it really does narrow the gap between it and some of its German opposition.
There's also plenty of sensible, clever and thoughtful touches throughout, from rear doors that open almost 90 degrees to the large clever boot that can be partitioned and customised. There's also plenty of space with loads more leg and shoulder room and decent headroom, even with the standard panoramic roof. There are some failings though. There's a lack of useful sliding or removable rear seats the Skoda Karoq offers.
Deduct more points for some of the in-car technology. While it looks good when it's not on, when it is, it kind of looks like it's a bit dated. It looks like it's ready for an update. But that said, there is wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and there's a nifty 15-watt wireless phone charger.
So far, so very good. And it's pleasing to hear for the new generation of QASHQAI, Nissan promises class best dynamics, evident of the new multi-link rear suspension.
But the independent rear suspension is only available with the larger 20-inch wheel option and the all-wheel drive models that we're not getting in Australia.
Sticking with the suspension, the new platform is said to not only save weight but boost rigidity by up to 41%. The suspension is also mounted in a more optimal points on the architecture that all bodes well for a better drive.
And you know what? It does feel more involving, more agile and precise, and there's loads and loads of grip on these 20-inch alloy wheels. So Nissan has narrowed the gap between it and rivals like the Mazda MX-30. But that said, the ride. We have worries about the ride because on these 20-inch wheels it does get a little bit busy over some small bumps and can crash over big bumps. So I think we'll have to try before we buy when it lands in Australia.
It's worth mentioning the latest generation of Xtronics Cvt is a huge improvement and is smoother and feels less artificial until you really work it hard.
There's a really strange jerkiness with this transmission when you just come to a halt, but we think that might have something to do with the mild hybrid tech that cuts the engine, so it might not even affect the models we get in Australia.
Set to arrive in Australia in 2022, there's still no word on how much the all-new QASHQAI will cost, but we're tipping the base ST model to still weigh in at around a $30,000 mark.
As it stands, even without the fancy electrified base engine, the new Nissan QASHQAI has really everything it needs to challenge its rivals and beat them, not only on paper but, for the first time, maybe even in the sales charts too.